Hey guys, it's Vornskyr here, and today we're back in Euro Truck Sim 2, and I'm just playing around with a few different mods. So one of them is this Scania Gigaliner. This is, as far as I understand, I think this is actually a pretty old mod. I think it's one that's been around for quite a while, but it's recently been kind of re-released or updated for some of the later Euro Truck updates, and it does seem to be working in 1.2, so we're playing around with that. And I'm also using a mod called Scandinavia Rebuilding, and that adds a couple of different roads into the game basically. Now there are some problems using it with Pro Mod. I don't believe it was actually tested with Pro Mods. From what I read on the mod description page, it was tested with TSM, I think Poland Rebuilding and Rustmap. It does work from what I've been able to see so far, but it causes some pretty serious map issues. You can see my map is all sorts of messed up at the moment, and when you're actually at the freight market looking for jobs, you can't really see the entirety of the map. It doesn't work very well because Pro Mods has Iceland and stuff all the way up here, and you just can't see any of it. You can't really zoom in or anything. So it does cause some pretty serious map problems, but it seems to be okay for driving around. So if I go back to the map, all I actually do, this is a new road here, this kind of twisty hill road that leads up into Norway apparently. And there's also another road down here, which I'm not going to look at, but there's just a few different roads throughout the center of this. I think, from memory, in the normal map, this whole area is just empty of roads. There's nothing in there, so this kind of adds a little bit of stuff in there. But so we're going to test out this this hilly road, and the Scania Gigaliner. It's probably going to have some problems, given how long it is. We'll have a bit more of a look at this truck. It's basically, it seems to be an attempt to replicate a B-double, basically. Except that, of course, you've only got the one articulation point. So the truck is basically a rigid body. So I'll disconnect the trailer and move it forwards. And you'll notice I'm using a different Scania engine mod that's a Beneke Ben or something, however you say that name. There will be a link in the video description. But yeah, so this is the Gigaliner itself. Basically, I can't actually scroll the mouse out any further than that, but you can see it's got the articulation point right at the very back there. And it's basically a heavy, a rigid sort of truck up until that point. So kind of what you see with some of the BDF mods and that sort of thing, except the trailer at the back is a full-sized trailer. So we'll hook up with this. And we should be able to see if I start turning around. You see how the truck is actually articulating right at the back there. So yeah, it kind of seems like an effort to make a B-double truck. I mean, obviously, we've only got, the engine at the moment apparently just doesn't support more than one articulation point, so this is kind of the best you can do. But anyway, so let's go for a bit of a drive, and we'll see what this road is like. You can see we actually turn right just up ahead, so let's get out of here. And I think I'm using a 500 or something horsepower engine at the moment. The load that I'm carrying is about 25 tons. Did you? Seriously, dude? Yeah, the load that I'm carrying is about 5.5 tons. Well, 25 tons, I think. But we're pulling it pretty well. And yeah, I've never driven this road or anything before, so I don't really know what to expect. And yeah, so we'll just see how this is. And so one thing that I've seen recently, turn here. One thing I've seen recently with Euro Truck is that apparently there will be a new either DLC or free expansion coming out. I'm not sure which it is. It's basically for interior parts for trucks. So you know how some mods and everything will have like a laptop or whatever as like an optional little thing that you can place. Apparently this new update or whatever it is will have a bunch of those sort of things. So from the screenshot that I saw, or the little thumbnail or whatever, it was called a DLC pack, but I don't think there's been any information announced yet as whether it would be paid or free or just part of an update or whatever. So it should be pretty cool. If it's a DLC, I don't think it'll be a particularly expensive one, like paid DLC, but yeah, kind of one of those interesting little things. I mean, personally, it's all stuff that I never use at all when it comes with mods. Like, you're talking things like curtains and little things that hang down from the mirrors. Although, not that you really have a rearview mirror. Oh shit, stop. Well, we kind of stopped in time. Yeah, it's all things like just little cosmetic stuff, basically. And I'm probably gonna... I think I pulled far enough ahead with my entirely planned stop and everything that the trailer didn't go across too much grass. But yeah, it all looks like stuff that's, you know, just cosmetic little things. And I really don't go for that sort of stuff, especially with a lot of the ones that you see with different mods and stuff, where you got giant curtains all down the center of the truck and everything. Really doesn't do it for me. But at the same time, it'll all be optional, of course, so... which is far better than some mods that do actually force it on you. Most of them don't, but some of them do. That looks like a pretty steep incline up there. And so yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, how they go with it, what they come up with and everything. But this is where this drive starts to get a bit interesting, I guess. That's a really steep grade. Go down to third. Still not enough. Let's see second. Okay, second kind of got it going. I have a feeling the road wouldn't be that steep in real life. I might be wrong. And again, it's pretty steep up here too. Oh, I think, did I just stall it? I didn't stall it, but I'm going to have to go for a hill start. So that was in second gear. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, stalled at that time. Yeah, these hills. What am I doing? This may take a little while. Okay, we're having some problems here. This game really doesn't like hill starts, especially when you're trying to do it properly with clutch and everything. What can we do about this? You can see I'm having some problems here, can't you? Well, he's being rather rude. I mean... yeah, this could be a real problem. I don't really know how I'm going to get it started again. I might have to kind of roll it back a bit. Of course, I do have a bit of a traffic problem behind me. This isn't a great start, is it? Yep. What if we just try redlining it? Do a redline clutch drop, I'm sure that'll work out great. Yeah. Alright, I might try. Let's see if I can just reverse it straight into this guy's face, because he's being a wanker. Let's see if we can take off on a bit of a an angle. Maybe that'll work a bit better. Probably won't. We're rolling. Barely. Alright. Let's go up to second. Oh, it doesn't like that. It's still going though, but it really doesn't like it. Okay. Jeez. If you're carrying a heavy load up these hilly roads, you're going to have to be careful. Alright, and we're going. That's a really sharp descent as well. I do have the engine brake on in this truck. You can't really hear it, especially not in the cabin. It's a pretty subtle note, but it does match in with the rest of the engine noise pretty well. That bridge looks like it's about to fall down as well. I'm not sure if you noticed all the gaps and everything under the sides. This is only version 1 of this mod. It's only just come out. So I'm sure a lot of this stuff will get worked on over time. And we're going straight down. Let's go into second. Jeez, talk about working your gears. And one thing I've noticed about this truck, and the steering wheel is really shaking a lot, it doesn't like these hills. The one thing I've noticed about this truck mod, just driving around regularly, is that it has a really bad turning circle. When you're just driving around normally, it can take a lot of effort to go around just a standard corner that you'd normally do perfectly fine. That can be a bit more of a challenge. Yeah, you might find yourself having to reverse back a bit or something like that. I'm going full throttle at the moment. This is foot flat to the floor. And the steering wheel is vibrating and shaking around a lot actually. It doesn't really like these corners. So I've got no idea how far through this I've gotten. Not very far by the looks of it. There's a fair few more twists and turns up ahead, looking down at the GPS. It's pretty scenic though. It's a nice day as well. So it always helps doing it with nice weather. Alright, we might have hit a flat bit. Let's see if we can build up a bit of speed. There's a rest point up ahead apparently. Isn't that helpful? I mean, even going in what looks to be a fairly flat sort of area is not picking up much speed. Let's go up to 8th. Yeah, we are still rising a bit, so... See, my trailer's actually right on the shoulder of the road as well by the looks of it. Alright, luckily we've managed to keep it in 6th gear, so we haven't had to drop down too far. That might change up ahead. I'm only running a 12-speed gearbox in this truck. It's mostly vanilla, the truck itself. Oh god, did he see my trailer? No. Yeah, with the exception of the, obviously, because the Gigaliner itself is just a chassis update, like a chassis mod for the main truck. So you just buy a regular, in the dealership or the upgrade shop, wherever you are, you just get a regular Scania, and instead of doing like a 6x2 chassis or whatever, you just pick the Gigaliner option. So that's fine. And with this engine pack that I'm using, you do have to use a different engine because it adds a whole bunch of engines to the game. So the engines only work with those modded engines. It doesn't work with the stock engines apparently, like the engine sounds and all that. But there's a wide range of different power options and everything, so it's not like you have to pick a super like crazy high horsepower engine or something just to get the engine noise, which is nice. Because, I mean, personally I don't really like using the 1000 horsepower or 2000 horsepower engines or whatever. They're fun for a bit of a laugh, but for actually trying to drive around semi-properly, it's a bit OP. So I'm kind of tempted to go down and check out this rest stop, except I just drove straight past the road there. I think if I went down there I wouldn't be able to get back out. Let's do it. I don't know if I actually can do it. I'm going to cause another traffic jam here. Oh, I just stalled. Interesting. Alright, there we go. Let's see what's down here. And I do apologise as well if you can hear my chair creaking around. I really need to buy a new chair, but yeah, it's going to have to wait for a while. But yeah, it's really annoying, and I hear it all the time when I'm editing the videos and stuff. It's really annoying just hearing that chair creaking around, so sorry about that. Alright, so this looks like it's kind of a lookout sort of thing as well. The road getting to it isn't particularly fantastic, but... Okay, we've got plenty of room to turn around, so that's a good thing. Oof. It's a bit of a rough surface. Alright. There we go. Let's put the brake on. Cool. That's pretty cool. I like being able to look out over the road and all that sort of thing. Alright. This is a screenshot opportunity, so I'll be back after making my video thumbnail. Okay, let's continue once I turn off the parking brake. Let's go into first actually, just to get rolling. And you can see what I mean about the poor turning circle. This is full steering lock. That's just, and this is how slow I'm turning, like. And that's just because the and you look at the long wheelbase of the truck. I mean, these, I don't think I've shown it, but these rear axles do turn as well. You can see the wheels turning there. But you look, I mean, this whole thing right up into the point where the trailer's attached is just one giant long thing, so that's why it takes so long to turn. It does make sense. Let's see if I actually run into these rocks if I drive over them. I might just clip through them, of course, that's entirely that's a valid option as well. But hey, look, my wheels are actually lifting up there as well. So yeah, these rough surfaces not the best. But let's see if we can make our way out of here. Alright, well, that actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. I expected us to just get completely stuck in there as I kept bouncing over all the rocks and everything. I mean, I guess the idea of this road is that it's kind of a like a rural sort of back road that the majority of traffic wouldn't take, which I guess is why it's that kind of little side road or rest area there is all overgrown and stuff. But if you look at it from an RP point of view anyway, oh, you had to come around the corner, didn't you? This is going to be a problem, trying to do it safely, given that it's basically a blind corner in both ways. It's just, of course, as soon as I decide to go, are you going to run into me? You would have. Alright. So you have to take the corners pretty slowly. I guess once you're used to the truck, it wouldn't be that much of a problem. But the really poor turning rate kind of sneaks up on you. Or at least it doesn't me. So I'm just going to try and go fairly slowly during the downhill part, given that I can see we've got these turns coming up. And one thing I've noticed, the brakes are super sensitive. It's probably because I think I've probably turned my braking intensity up in the options. That rock is a bit close to the road. But I think I've got my braking intensity turned up a bit because so many mods actually have really poor brakes. But going back to the stock trucks, because it's been so long since I've driven a stock truck, that's probably why it's so, you know, different. So again, we'll try to take these corners fairly slowly. You kind of have to be careful of your trailer, because you can see if you can see in the mirror, it's actually right in the. Oh, I think it just hit a rock and got flung sideways. Let's see if it's taken any damage. No, it hasn't taken any damage. I have to get rid of that GPS as well. There we go. So this road seems to be just hairpins the whole way. And my trailer was sitting a bit in his lane there. This seems to be a pretty good angle to take though. It's kind of a learning experience, because for whatever reason, I haven't really driven the rigid trucks. So there's plenty of rigid truck mods and everything, and apparently in the latest update there's actually there's files or a folder for a rigid Mercedes truck, like as a vanilla thing. I don't know much about that apart from the fact that it exists. But yeah, I really don't drive the rigid trucks in this game very much, so it's all a learning experience. But it looks like, is that the road? Yeah, once we get back on this road here, that'll be the end of it. So let's we'll drive down to this rest area, and then we'll call it there. And we've got a turn coming up here, which we really should take. Let's see if we can make it around here. There's no oncoming traffic, so we'll just take up both lanes. That's just the sort of thing you have to do sometimes. I mean, from what I understand, B-doubles and stuff like in Australia, they generally, you only really see them on the highways and stuff. They tend not to take tight roads or anything like that because they have to do that sort of thing. They have to take up 2 or 3 lanes just to get around a corner sometimes, like I'm going to do here. Of course, it's not as bad for them in real life because they've got that second articulation point, whereas this truck doesn't. But anyway. Of course, it's entirely possible that I'm just talking out of my ass because I've got no idea what I'm talking about. So bear that in mind. So let's come out of this tunnel, the tunnel of love, and then we'll take this left up here instead of going through this toll booth. Might have shifted a bit too soon there. Alright. Should be able to get through here easily enough. Nothing to run into. Alright, so where's the actual rest area? I guess I go around to the right here. And in we go. And I'll just pull in front of these guys so they can't get out. Well, there you have it. The Scania Gigaliner, which is parked really badly at the moment. And also Scandinavia rebuilding. So that's one of the new roads, and like I was saying, the other part of New Road is down here. But it seems pretty good. It's decent quality for the most part. There were areas and stuff where you see the rocks where they shouldn't be, like too close to the road, and all that sort of thing, and there were some problems with one of the bridges and stuff, but for the most part it seems pretty good. There's no invisible walls, and that's the most important thing. I know sometimes with pro mods, especially a few updates ago, you'd find yourself just driving along at like 100 kilometers per hour, and suddenly you'd stop, and your truck's at 60% damage because you just drove face first into an invisible wall. So that didn't happen, which was good. But yeah, and I like that engine pack as well. That's a pretty cool sound, so I'll probably keep that in my mods list. As I was saying, video links for all of the mods will be in the video description if you want to check any of those out or use them yourself. And what I will show you as well is my loading order, because I tried this a couple of different ways with Scandinavia rebuilding. The first time I had it below Pro Mods, so I had it roughly around there, and it just didn't work at all. So I've put it above Pro Mods, and I've got Rust Map right down at the bottom as well, down here. And that seems to be working, except obviously with the map problems and everything. But yeah, so this is how I've got it at the moment, and it kind of halfway works. Like I said, map and everything is a problem. But yeah, apart from that, it's all pretty good. But I think I'll end this one here. So just a bit of fun with some mods in Euro Truck. So until next time, I've been Vornskyr. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.